What happens when you don't give up? Nobody talks about the boring part of success. They show you the highlight reel. The applause. The glow up. The "I knew you could do it." But they never show you the nights you almost quit. They don't show the silence. The doubt. The moment you stare at the ceiling and wonder if you're just fooling yourself. Because the truth is, not giving up isn't loud. It's quiet. It's invisible. It's lonely. And that's exactly why it changes everything. When you don't give up, something small starts happening first. Not outside. Inside. Your mind begins to shift. At first, it screams. This isn't working. You're wasting time. Other people are ahead. But every time you continue anyway, even when it feels pointless, you send your brain a different message. I don't stop. That message rewires you. Because confidence doesn't come from winning. It comes from surviving your own doubt. When you don't give up, your tolerance for discomfort grows. The first rejection hurts. The fifth one still hurts. But the 20th? It stings, and then you move on. You stop taking failure personally. You start seeing it as feedback. You begin asking better questions. What can I improve? What did this teach me? What's the next step? And suddenly, what used to destroy you starts developing you. That's power. When you don't give up, people change how they see you. At first, they doubt you. They question your effort. They laugh at your dream. But persistence is loud over time. Consistency makes noise. Eventually, the same people who doubted you start saying, "You're really serious about this." And that shift? It doesn't happen because you proved them wrong. It happens because you refuse to disappear. When you don't give up, momentum builds quietly. It's like pushing a heavy car. At first, it doesn't move. You push and nothing happens. You feel stupid, exhausted, embarrassed. But then, a tiny movement. An inch. Then another. And suddenly, the thing that felt impossible starts rolling on its own. That's how progress works. Slow. Invisible. Then undeniable. When you don't give up, your identity changes. You stop being someone who tries. You become someone who finishes. And that shift is everything. Because goals don't belong to the most talented. They belong to the most persistent. Talent burns bright. Persistence burns long. And in the long run, endurance wins. But here's what nobody warns you about. Not giving up doesn't guarantee fast success. It guarantees growth. And growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like repeating the same effort when nobody notices. Sometimes it looks like showing up with zero motivation. Sometimes it looks like crying and then continuing anyway. That's strength. Not loud strength. Steady strength. There will be moments when quitting feels logical. When walking away feels peaceful. When giving up feels like relief. And sometimes, yes, walking away is necessary. But quitting because it's hard? That's different. Hard is part of the process. Hard is the filter. Hard is what removes everyone who isn't serious. If you stay when it's hard, you automatically enter a smaller room. A room filled with people who refuse to fold. That's where breakthroughs happen. When you don't give up, you start trusting yourself. And that might be the biggest reward of all. Because once you prove to yourself that you can endure discomfort, that you can survive setbacks, that you can keep moving without applause, you become dangerous in the best way. Unstoppable not because you're perfect, but because you don't quit. Think about it. Every skill you have now once felt impossible. Walking, talking, learning. You failed thousands of times as a child. But you didn't label it as failure. You called it learning. Imagine if you applied that same mindset now. No drama. No self-attack. Just repetition. Progress would be inevitable. Not giving up doesn't mean you never rest. It doesn't mean you ignore reality. It doesn't mean you never adjust. It means you refuse to abandon the version of yourself that believes this is possible. It means you bend, but you don't break. Pause, but don't quit. Slow down, but don't stop. One day, maybe not today, you'll look back at this season. The doubt, the frustration, the quiet grind, and you'll realize something powerful. This was the chapter that built you. Not the applause. Not the achievement.